Hello everybody, Auvbri here. Welcome back to another speed build here on the channel. Today we are doing another one of the rebuild The Sims 4, so we are tackling the BFF household. Now this was something that we built on stream. I had so much fun doing this build, but it actually took a lot longer to do and redo this build than I initially anticipated, so it turned out to be a full stream build. But I really wanted to, with this build, try and keep the integrity of the build itself, but you know, as I always do, inject my own personality into the build, which I think we accomplished in the end. So first off, I knew I wanted to keep the front of the build. I wanted to have somewhat the same build, but the build was kind of oddly shaped before, so I tried to, you know, take the general foundation of the build and, you know, mix and match it a bit to kind of accommodate for what is actually a very huge house, and trying to make it into a house that's floor plan wise actually made a little bit more sense. I also wanted to keep the backyard that was in the build before, but before it was kind of not like a backyard but more like a side weird type of thing going on, so we actually made it into a full-on backyard in the end. And I was trying to also ask you guys this questions on the stream and get your opinions on the stream of what we can actually do with this build, so it would still feel like the same but also feel renewed and fresh. So what we actually came up with was that we could use the same wooden structure that we had on the outside, so these kind of wooden wallpapers, but we actually changed the color of them. I also wanted to have somewhat the same style on the windows and on the doorways as well, but again we changed the colors on them, so it actually would make a bit more sense to the build itself. I also relocated some of the rooms, and we made one of the rooms bigger. We also got a lot more space for a bigger kitchen, which would make a lot more sense in a build like this. And we ran with some color schemes, so we're gonna get into all that throughout the build itself. But I think it turned out to be a really cool build. Looking at the build here, so first off, I tried to see if we couldn't kind of place the yard the same place that it was before, but that didn't really work out too well. I didn't like the placement of it and I thought it looked a bit weird, so we actually ended up building a whole new backyard. Also in this neighborhood in Willow Creek, it made a lot more sense to actually have a backyard. So we, in the backyard beyond that, we have like this place where there are these planters and stuff like that, and I thought that would just actually make for a very great backyard entrance. So struggling with finding a freaking gate here in The Sims 4 because of the swatch situation, but we made it work in the end. I also wanted to have a little place for the trash cans and stuff like that, seeing this is actually a very big household and maybe some of them have girlfriends and whatnot. I know there is some drama there that one or two of them likes the boy and he is totally clueless, so I tried to also play into that a bit. But again, I'm not too familiar with the whole story of the different residents in the Sims worlds. I usually just build, so this is also a very nice thing for me to actually get to know the worlds of the Sims a little bit better. Also going into it here, it's one thing that's very important to note is that we're actually only using base game in this build. So if you want to download this build and you only have base game, it is totally viable. I use a lot of debug items because yes, I'm a debug queen now and I have found a way. I love debug mode now, so we use a lot of that, but it's still only base game, and that's some of the rules that I have when I'm rebuilding these builds in The Sims 4. Whichever world that I'm building in, I can only use the pack from which that world came from and base game. And since this is a base game world, we can only use base game. But luckily for us, base game has gotten a lot better throughout the years, and it's nothing like the base game was back in the day when The Sims 4 actually launched. So we're grateful for that. Going into the backyard here, I knew I wanted to do something a bit more spruced up than it was before. So we worked a lot on the front of the build to actually, incorporate a lot more plants and a lot more, or can we say, kind of like structured garden areas, which wasn't there before. It was kind of like hectic and a little bit sad to look at. So I wanted to do something a bit more, oomph and nice looking, bit more structure. So that's what we kind of did here. And then I had to go inside. So first off, I knew we needed some planters here because those were in the original build as well. But going into the interior of this build was actually a bit intimidating, and I remember the people on the stream helped me out a lot with also like color schemes and that. So going into a build like this, what I like to do when it's a build that I don't normally play with or haven't actually been in before, I like to kind of take a look around and see what is the general vibe of the build. But also, again, I need to inject my own kind of style into it. So I try to mostly actually just recolor stuff. So we still have the things that the Sims team actually wanted to be inside the build, but we can kind of inject our own personality and stuff into it. So the kitchen here is actually the same kitchen as it was before, mostly. We just changed the color of the counters and gave them some better appliances, and that's kind of it. I also wanted the kitchen to be bigger than it was before, seeing that there's actually 3 people living in the same house together, and I imagine 3 young people like this would have a lot of friends over, hosts and stuff like that. So I wanted to have a bigger kitchen, and then I started to take a look at, okay, so what color schemes can we use in here? So there's this phenomenon that happens in the Sims houses built by Maxis, and sorry to say also American houses in general. When I see a lot of reality TV and stuff like that, it always seems to me that Americans, or at least the houses, really like these beige, brown and kind of drab colors, which I don't understand because you have such a beautiful country. But it seems like also it's evidence here in The Sims 4 as well that there's just a lot of drab builds with a lot of brown and beige and extra brown black colors. So I wanted to inject some color into this build, and there was this bookcase that was yellow, and we have there was bits and pieces here and there that we could kind of use. So I brightened up the floorings, made pastel walls, and then made some feature walls with for example, the living room space here being yellow and otherwise actually very down to earth, but we have this statement piece in form of the couch that has a nice bright color. So I thought that was very nice, and it's actually the thing that I have done with almost all of these remake builds. Also, we introduced a new bathroom into this build as well, because one for me didn't seem enough for 3 people. So I remade the bathrooms, nothing too special. I tried to keep them very simple. The other bathroom here at the end of the hall, also very simple. I actually made it into a 2-person's bathroom. And that's kind of it. I mean, the bedrooms mostly actually kept them the same, just moved some furniture around, recolored some stuff, and added a few bits and pieces here and there, and that's kind of the room. So I thought that I really kept the integrity of each of the Sims bedrooms intact, but introduced something new and vibrant and kind of different looking into the main areas of the build that was there before. Going into the boys' room here, there is only one single bed, which I cannot remember the last time I slept in a single bed. That has been like forever. I believe I was in high school when I did that. So I wanted to give the man a double bed because I think he deserved it, and then I just recolored some stuff in his room, and that's kind of it. Going into this room, now this was a doozy. I didn't know what this room was because there was children's toys and there was like adult stuff in here, and there was some gothic things, and this room just didn't make any sense. And this is where to me it feels like EA just chucks stuff in there and hopes that it actually looks good. So on the stream we kind of came to a consent, all of us, that we needed to redo the room but try and keep at least one of the styles intact. So I made it into this nice artist room, kind of like a bit on the dark side, but I thought it looked very good, and tried to keep at least one style in here, and I think it turned out really nice, and you guys seem to agree on the stream as well. So I'm super happy about how it turned out. But actually, let's prepare to jump into the showcase here and see what it looks like. So here we have the build, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, be sure to leave the video a big like and subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and remember you can get the build on the gallery right now. Also, let me know what you think about this build, this remade, redesigned build, in the comment section down below, and if it's something you actually like, it helps me out a great big deal. And yeah, I think that's actually going to be it for this time. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and just enjoy the rest of the showcase. Have a truly fantastic day wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you next time for another video or stream here on the channel. Bye guys. You know, this build actually reminds me a lot of spring, which I'm missing because it's definitely not in Denmark at the point of this recording. Come on, son, where are you?